Hey guys, this is Random Stuff with Alex Hughes. I decided to shoot using my camera rather than the YouTube thing because it was having a hard time keeping up with what I was saying. But yeah, so today's, I believe, day 10 or 11 of the self improvement or self transformation journey, 30 days of where I'm focusing mainly on trying to improve myself, personal development, physical and mental health and so yeah, so today I ended up I woke up this morning and it was a bit later than usual, I believe. I think I woke up around 6 o'clock or so, and then I took a cold shower, and it was great. I'm getting used to it. I think my body's starting to get used to um, the colder water. Some parts of my body not so much. Luckily, in the morning, I'm not, having to, use too much body wash or shampoo my hair because I do that the night before. But I'm definitely enjoying the cold showers. I don't know if I'll continue it during winter because the air temperature is a lot lower, but I think through the summer it's doable. And then the cool thing is I had my breakfast all kind of set up. I made it the night before, and I actually did that back in high school where I would make my lunch the night before so that way I wouldn't be scrambling in the morning. I kind of phased that off in college because I actually went to school a lot later, but some, it depended on the semester. But I actually like that idea because you're kind of all ready to go. Rather, in the morning you're kind of hungry, especially if you're doing intermittent fasting and you haven't eaten since like 10:30, which I haven't actually. Like, I've been doing intermittent fasting and I leave around 11 or 12 o'clock, so that's around where I eat, so that way I don't have to take the food with me. So it's definitely something that I look forward to in the morning is eating. So I actually had some really good tacos, some leftovers from a slow cooker thing I made over a week ago, and then some soy rizo, which I'm thinking about I'll transfer to when I go vegetarian, and then off to the side I believe had a banana and some of the oat thing I made, which had like peaches or pears. So it was pears, oats, and like flax seeds and whatnot. And then so it's very filling. And then I ended up having my vitamin routine, which has grown significantly. I had zinc gummies, which are actually pretty good, but the aftertaste does taste like metal. And then later on, I had my K2, which is very tiny soft gel. It's like so tiny. It's like this, and you basically the price was pretty insane. But yeah, so I got K2. D3 was also in the same form, the soft gels, which don't really leave too much of an aftertaste, but you kind of hope that they actually have what they say they have in it because of how tiny it is. And then I had the ashwagandha, which was in a capsule. Capsule was kind of like plastic, but you can eat it. And then the inside was a little bit bitter. I heard ashwagandha, through the NoFap, forums, and I didn't know too much. I didn't notice too much difference today. It felt like my head was a bit clearer and I was a lot more grounded, but I've kind of been feeling like that since I started the journey. I definitely felt a lot more aware and energetic after drinking all those smoothies, and I noticed that too when I had a smoothie with my lunch. I felt like I had the kind of like the sugar rush from all that fruit after the fact, along with the very filling lunch I had, which was kind of the same type of tacos, but I also had a full smoothie with it, a full glass, and it had like a banana, a plum in it, and then whatever was left over from yesterday. And then I had some cocoa in there, which was actually really good. And then I had the left whatever was left from the oat thing that I made. It was very filling, and I still feel full. And it's close to 9 o'clock at night, I believe. Yeah, close to 9 o'clock, and I still feel full from this morning, which is a great sign. It reminds me a lot of when I would eat out at a like a Mexican restaurant, they hook you up, especially for such a cheap price. You could eat that in the morning and you'll be full for the rest of the day. There's no doubt. Um, but yeah, so that's what I ate this morning, um, and then I ended up working on kind of. Oh yeah, I did my walk too, and I ran into another coyote again. It's crazy. It's like it was about like 8 o'clock or a little bit after 8, and a dog was just chasing around this coyote in somebody's property, and there's no fence, so I didn't want that coyote or the dog to be going after me next, and it was crazy. Like I said, I actually just said that, but um, because of how late it was. I mean, 8 o'clock, people are already waking up and the traffic's already starting. So the fact that the coyote would be out that late is very surprising. And especially since it's about a Tuesday. So the week has already started. It's not like a weekend or a Sunday where it's very quiet. It's definitely making me consider changing my walking route instead of going on Hutchison. But yeah, so the walk was great. I definitely worked out my legs. I felt a little bit more fatigued. I don't know if it was the food or if it was just the fact that I've been doing this for the last like over a week. So my body's I mean, I'm not used to a lot of this walking, especially in the morning. Like I said, I always spent most of my the past couple years watching TV in the morning, about an hour and a half. Just watching shows, not really moving around too much. I do like yoga and meditation and whatnot, but not too much. Very sedentary still. And so I ended up coming back. I had to walk along East Vista Way. There's no, like I said, there's no sidewalk there, so you're pretty close to the cars, and you got to be careful. One wrong step, and that car is gonna be swerving. Just trying to avoid you. But yeah, so I ended up watching some videos about nofap and retention regarding aggression, which I noticed on my journey. I'd say last year and late the year before. Just this feeling of kind of aggression towards others. It was probably the testosterone boost, and the ambition. I was trying to accomplish so many goals, and I wanted things to go kind of quick, quick, quick. And I think that's when you're young, you want to accomplish so many things at once. You want to do so many things. So when people would kind of get in your way, or at least in my way, I kind of be a little bit triggered or irritated because I wanted to accomplish so many things, and I wanted to see so much progress. But I actually watched a video today from, I guess, this guy in the UK. I think his name is Jay, doing NoFap, and he talked about the idea of Kaizen and just doing something little by little every single day, and you'll get to your goal. And I think he said about 10-15 minutes a day, and then a couple years pass, and you've made it. And which I started doing that with a lot of different things like homework, where I would do it little by little every single day, and by the end of the week, most of it would be done, and I wouldn't have to stress and do so much by the end of the week. Cram it all in on a Sunday night. I did that a lot when I was younger. Another thing I did that with would be like working around the house, trying to make it look nice. I wouldn't do it all in one day. I just break it down, task by task. The target list I had is also kind of the same thing, where I would have a bunch of things that I wanted to work on or needed to get work on. I do it every single morning when I had the time, and I would see the progress. Same with I would say what I'm doing now is little every single day. I'm going to the gym. I'm doing the walk in the morning. I'm doing the cold showers, and it's every single day I'm doing it, and or at least I try every single day. Um, and I see the progress from it. I feel a lot calmer, a lot more level-headed, a lot more control of my thoughts. I'm feeling like I'm making progress, and so altogether I'm feeling a lot better than I did last week or just the last couple months, because I've been so much on my grind and so much trying to find a job, doing my homework, which to be honest wasn't that bad this semester because I took two classes, but just a little bit of pressure of just trying to socialize more and starting my Instagram page and working on my room. Trying to buy things that I never had before. Trying to by doing that, I thought I would be able to improve my quality of life. Having a desk to work on, having a new laptop, having headphones that allow me. Because before, I had headphones, I had earbuds before, and I would it would work for like a couple months, and then I would kind of break it because of the wires and whatnot. And this time I got some, wireless Bluetooth headphones from Fry's. Luckily, they're still open, and I wanted to use it specifically for going to sleep, which I don't know if it's necessarily a good idea. When I'm out, walking, having that ability to not have the cords, because having the aux cable is kind of tricky. It gets tangled up, and I was hoping to use it when I went back to Miracosta after spring break. I'd be in the library and I be able to kind of tune out a lot of the noise from the first floor. But like I said, I didn't go back to Miracosta because what happened. But yeah, so I think the idea was I was just putting a lot of pressure. But little by little, when I was buying things and when I was working on things, I noticed progress in my life. Um, other than that, today I ended up kind of looking back at some of the no fat videos, trying to apply what I learned. Like what Gabe said is that you could learn all these things, you can know what to do, but you have to apply the information. It's kind of like what I was thinking about with school a lot over the last couple years or so. Is that I learn all this stuff in K through 12, and it's great, but how do I apply that information? And that's the most important thing. Um, and so it's really up to you to decide, like, okay, you learned all this stuff from elementary, middle, high school. How do you apply that information to real life? And by doing so, you actually kind of, I guess, complete the loop, right? You go to school and you're like, how do you use this information? So that's the most important part. So yeah, I ended up leaving, going over to Planet Fitness. I worked on my upper arms and I'm seeing progress. Like I said, you know, 5 pounds is starting to feel easier now because I've been doing it the last couple of days, and now 8 pounds is, I think, the next step. And then I was watching some no fat videos, and I took the bus over to San Luis Rey transit station so I could go over to this park. The funny thing is sometimes Google Maps gives you these directions and you're like, okay, I'll follow Google Maps, but then they give you these directions that sometimes seem a lot longer than if you just kind of rely on your head knowledge. And so yeah, I just took the 303 and I went over to this park. The weather was the marine layer was starting to come in. The neighborhood I've been in before because it's close to the swap meet area. If you guys are familiar with Oceanside, they actually tore down the drive-in theater because they hadn't used it for such a long time. But yeah, so I got over to this park, beautiful grass area. Probably the nicest grass I've seen, possibly, along with great tree coverage. They hadn't put in the hoops yet. I actually called Oceanside, I believe it was last weekend, and I wanted to know if they put the hoops back, which I guess they took down because they didn't want people to play basketball, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, so I ended up they didn't put the hoops back here, so I just practiced my dribbling, watched a couple of videos, and I listened to a video about dribbling between your legs, and so I was practicing that. It was pretty entertaining to watch me do that. And I was shooting some hoops, even though there was no net, just to try to, I guess, imagine that I was shooting hoops. I did some back and forth, with dribbling to get more control over the ball, so that way I kind of have an idea of how to do that. In addition, I was also kind of working on my right and left hand and right hands, because my right hand's the dominant hand and my left hand I got to work on more. The park wasn't too busy actually, a couple people, but it picked up later on. I was trying to focus on what I was doing, not get distracted by any eye candy, Um, and yeah, so I did that for a while. I think I did that for about an hour, hour and a half. And I was listening to some no fap videos. Gabriel, of course, Gabe Dawg. He's got great videos from the past about, how to succeed on no fap. Um, and then yeah, I took the bus back. I was thinking about going to the beach. The definitely cooled down a lot. Once I got there, the wind picked up and the marine layer was already coming in, so there really wasn't too much sunshine. Um, but by the time I got there, it was already getting on the later side. So I decided to just, spend the time doing meditation. I noticed my practice for meditation is getting a little bit stronger. Um, I'm less distracted because I've developed a consistency over the last 10 days or so. Um, I noticed myself still getting distracted by the trivial things, kind of things before the journey I started. Like, oh, I got to get this done and I got to buy this, and kind of the typical day to day stuff you could think about. And yeah, so it was funny. A guy was asking me if I was okay, and I just told him I was doing my breathwork meditation because I was putting my hand on my, I think it was chest, because the meditation, they were talking about how, like, keep track of your breath. Put your hand on where you feel your breath the most, which is usually your chest or your stomach area. So it was a 10-minute meditation or so, and it was guided breathing, and that's what I was doing. And I ended up after that I was listening to some alpha waves, low alpha waves, and very powerful stuff. Isochronic tones. I used that so much when I was at Miracosta, just trying to focus on my homework, because sometimes your mind wanders to different things. But if you use these isochronic tones, especially by Jason Lewis, I've been using his uh, isochronic tones since high school, and very powerful stuff. You listen to it and you feel so focused. At least for me, like when I put it on the headphones and I listen to it, I don't really think about anything else, literally nothing else. My mind goes blank and all I'm focusing on is the task at hand. I feel so like ready to go. I don't feel distracted. I don't feel, tired. I just like after I take my headphones off, I feel like a zombie, literally like I feel like I'm zapped of any sort of emotion because I'm so focused and honed in on it. So this is the isochronic tones, Jason Lewis. Um, great practice. Jason Stevenson also has some good isochronic tones, binaural beats that I've used throughout the Miracosta semesters. Um, and then you'll see other ones out there. I've done Spiritual Awakening, which is another one I used when I was getting anxious. I was studying with somebody, and I get nervous because this was a girl. I was studying with a girl, and I got nervous beforehand, and so I used the Spiritual Awakening, and literally like my mind went blank, and I felt so relaxed, and definitely use that, and it's very powerful stuff. But yeah, so I ended up walking home using the alpha waves, and it was very strong. I was like, I, I, I didn't know. I didn't feel anything, to be honest. Like my thoughts were gone, my emotions were gone, and I was so clear headed. It's almost like after I did the fasting and the smoothies, and I felt so like aware of everything, like hyper awareness. And I try to practice that, the pure awareness energy. And what that is the ability to literally just focus on the moment, and that's it. That's all you're focusing on is what is happening at the present moment. So yeah, I did that, and I ended up catching the bus back, and I did my cold shower, which felt great today because of the amount of sweat. Um, and then I ended up yeah, drank some chamomile. Did my essential oils, and then I ended up preparing for tomorrow. I made some more tacos. Gotta love that Mexican food. With the leftovers in the fridge, like I said, we had a lot of leftovers because, I eat a lot of stuff, and so I spent a week basically not really eating anything besides fruit. So a lot of the stuff that I had cooked, the mold got to it. So Yeah, I ended up just trying to use the leftovers as much as I could. Um, and then I ended up making this pear thing because we had some pears, and the pears are getting a little bit ripe, overripe basically. And then I made some cornbread oat thing, pretty healthy, I would say. Um, it's oats, flax seeds, cornbread, um, just some oil in there, baking soda, baking powder, eggs, some oats. Pretty. I know it's gonna be pretty good. I made something like that consistently. But yeah, so I made that, and I decided to shoot the video course, doing a daily vlog. Anything else? I'm thinking about. Well, I decided to do affirmations right when I wake up. I changed it up because I was actually doing that usually after my morning routine. But yeah, I listened to Gabriel Dog. Uh, what's his name? I can't remember his last name at the top of my head, but yeah, I decided to do affirmations about thought control, trying to control my thoughts and emotions, and trying to be more aware of them, so that way I could decide what I want to think. You know, not having the other way around where my thoughts decide for me. So I did that, and yeah, the vitamin routine hasn't been too bad. I've been getting used to it, but as long as I have a smoothie with the vitamins, I think that's the best thing. The soft gels are probably the easiest to consume along with the gummies because they actually kind of taste good. The trickiest one is the chalky ones, the very traditional type of vitamins. I definitely gotta. I like when I eat breakfast, I have all these vitamins with me, so it's like I have all these bottles, and I probably should use. My grandmother had a kind of like a weekly medicine type thing where you flip it up and you have the vitamins for the or medicine for the day, and so yeah, uh, that's where what I might use. Um, I went on the walk. It was actually very. There was a lot of heavy dew this morning, so I actually had to wipe my sunglasses off for a while, and I felt pretty saturated because of how much water there was in the air. Traffic was fairly busy, uh, but yeah, I came back. The qigong wasn't too bad. The breath meditation made me pretty wiped out. You know, like the 18 minutes just 5-5-5 breathing. That was, like I said, still pretty intense. I definitely feel the heaviness after doing that. Um, and then food was great today, very filling. Mm, yeah, there's a lot of great advice from the other YouTubers, so make sure to take notes. I've done post-it notes since 4 years ago about doing the mental health awareness or the chewing gum wall, mental chewing gum wall. I had that wall for about 4 years now, and post-it notes are perfect. You can paraphrase what they say and then take it with you, and be like, hey, this is my version, how I interpreted what they said, and that way it's easier to apply it to your life because it's easy to just do word for word for what they say, but it makes it a little bit harder to apply that to your life. Whereas if it's something in your own words, then you're like you can connect with it better. It's kind of like when you uh, summarize and synthesize what you just read, where you put it in your own words and then you can understand it better. Um, so that's my advice with taking advice from YouTube videos. Um, I'm trying to do more of that meditation music, specifically targeting different wavelengths. I've been, like I said, I'd say that since the fall, I've been emphasizing more of that meditation music. Um, but I'm trying to do it more on the bus and when I'm walking back, if I have time to walk, because I want to see how it affects me if I do it consistently. I know that it's great for studying and doing homework because I've used it before. So that's going to be part of my journey. And then, yeah, so I ended up, the gym was great. Um, Hmm. If there's a pause, I'm thinking about what to mention. If there's anything else. I'm definitely still considering. I didn't really want to buy another mask because I thought it was kind of ridiculous, especially for the prices. But I'm looking at the mask that I'm wearing. It's pretty gross. The brown. I don't know why there's brown stains in my mask. Yeah, I have no idea why. But luckily, I think I can just get another one from my grandmother. Um, I still have that idea of a haircut potentially, but maybe I'll just watch a YouTube video and do that, save some money. Um, I could get a haircut, but I could just save some money. Doing it myself. But other than that, trying to work on my social anxiety stuff. When I'm out in public. Um, and yeah, it's kind of a debate that I've had is whether or not like, am I buying things to impress other people or am I buying things to improve my life? And so, I mean, there's a lot of things I didn't grow up with having. That's kind of a scarcity mindset. But when you start to save up money and you kind of become an adult, you realize, wow, there's so many things that could help improve my life for the better. And so that's something that I've been kind of pondering about for the last couple of months or so, about like how can I buy things to improve my life, but I have to be careful not to overspend because there's a lot of things that I could get, but right now I don't have work. I have an idea of what I want to do, but I'm still developing it. And right now I'm kind of on a hiatus just to take care of my mental and physical health, so that way I can be in tip-top shape. But yeah, so I think today was great. I look forward to tomorrow. I'm thinking about going to. I had an idea. Maybe I'll go to maybe Walmart, Dollar Tree, or something to buy some stuff for like basketball. Um, I'm also thinking about, of course, the Planet Fitness. I'm thinking about food tomorrow too. I'm always thinking about that. And then I'm excited for another park. Shoot some hoops. Hopefully, this park has actual hoops on it. But yeah, I'll have to see what's gonna happen tomorrow. Vitamin routine, as usual, and taking notes. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. And this is Random Stuff with Alex Hughes, signing off.